What's going on, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time. And today is the debut, finally, of Dark Souls. Well, the first one. I have heard only 3 songs from Dark Souls, and they were all from Dark Souls 3. And they've been all spread around like throughout the years. But finally, Dark Souls, the original. And before I get into it, this is requested by Novak and Dakota from the channel K Plays. This is Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. It's a cool name. But the name is what brings me here. So really quickly, before I get into this, I am in the midst of making my latest episode of my Vibes series, VGM Vibes 5, which the theme is fire. So I asked for a bunch of suggestions, and everyone voted on Patreon, including my free members. I got like 500 votes too. It was pretty crazy. Fire themes in games. So it could be fire characters, fire themes, fire whatever. Just the theme of fuego. And this was my, what was it? This was my, does it say? I think this was my runner-up in votes. I could be wrong about this. Let me double sure. This got second place. So yeah, I'm about to hear it. I mean, with a name like Lord of Cinder, pretty cool. And then look at that amazing composer name right underneath, Matoy Sakuraba. I'm super excited. I have not heard much from Soft stuff, but people seem to really like these games. Let's get into it. I can't wait. I can't wait. I've been wanting to hear more of this game, or this series. This is Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. I'm guessing that's him. Piano? This already sounds so different from what I'm used to in these games. Oh, so haunting. I was expecting like choirs and stuff. Oh, not what I was expecting at all. so many things going through my mind right now. Give me a moment. Where do I begin? There's so many things that I want to say. Okay. The most obvious big thing I want to get out of the way is this is not what I was expecting. At all. At all. When I say I'm aware, I mean like super casual, very little of what FromSoft is. It's the Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. I don't know if they have anything else. I think Sekiro as well. Yes. Okay. So I know like the premise, open world, boss fights, difficult. People love these games, right? So I know that much. I don't know how much there is lore-wise. I think I've asked that before, and people told me that the lore is actually pretty expansive. But either way, when it comes to the music that I've heard, which is honestly probably less than like, I don't know, 6 songs or something like that, nothing sounded like that. What? Not even close. Everything has sounded very like borderline satanic and just dark, gothic, big energy, orchestral, like bomb. So, with that said, hearing a solo piano being arpeggiated, solo piece, sounded to me extremely creepy. Like, hauntingly creepy. First of all, I love the piano. And we'll talk more about the piano in a bit, but just hearing a solo piano, knowing that this is probably, well, actually, I don't know. Assuming that this is a boss, that sounds frightening as hell, right? Because I've said this before, and I think it was in an Elden Ring video. I never played any of these games, if you're new, but I've said it before that I think all the music that gets sent to me from these games are more than likely bosses, and I don't think I've heard anything in the overworld, or if there even is music in the overworld, I have no idea. So my immediate guess is that it's a boss, and if that is a boss theme, then that's freaky, because knowing how difficult these games are, and this thing is trying to kill you and probably can very easily, to have something like that playing sounds absolutely terrifying. So the whole time, I really actually don't know how like my face was showing that. I'm gonna have to rewatch that, but I was like kind of concerned, you know. It felt like I was being cornered, and it was not a comfortable feeling at all. It was a great song, but I'm over here expecting like da da oh boom, you know, some sort of thunderous sound. So like, for example, like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of these games is Ludwig, because that was such a huge request when I did it. And it left such an impression, right? It was like, da 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 da. Ah, it was crazy. And then the next thing I want to bring up is that was beautiful because I got to hear Motoi Sakuraba just play. I'm assuming that was him playing, you know? Someone of a composer of his caliber and how long he's been doing it, I would assume he knows how to play some keys. And I've never heard anything like that. So to me, it felt like I was just listening to him play live. It didn't sound like a composition. I mean, yeah, it did, you know what I mean? But when I hear, especially Motoi Sakuraba, who's like super prog and very complex writing, or organs and time signature changes, this was just like, I felt like I was just having like a personal, like, hearing him in his study or something. It was creepy. It was like, whoa. I was not expecting that at all, dude. That was so cool. So then it made me think of another thing. Maybe this is just how the original Dark Souls sounded. Maybe it eventually went into the whole orchestral big thing. Or maybe it's just a song. You know, so many thoughts went into my head. I'm always excited and nervous when it comes to FromSoft because I know how big they are. But that completely was not anything I expected at all, especially considering the theming of this video. I know that people voted for this because it's, well, I assume because of the subject matter, which is fire. And obviously he's going to be something fire related, Lord of Cinder. But I wasn't expecting a solo piano piece at all. I was expecting, at first, I was like, okay, ooh, okay, cool piano intro. Then I was just gonna go into like this halfway through just big thing. That was exciting in such a weird, strange way. I don't think it's quite rare on this channel that like a song as a first listen slash reaction gets me to feel creeped out. You know, there's stuff that sounds scary and there's stuff that sounds kind of like ooh and panicky and intense, but creepy, that's kind of a hard emotion to grab when you're not playing it. Mind you, I see an image, static image, but I know how dark these games are, the lighting, and you know the overall aesthetic of them for the most part. So just hearing that sound, just the idea. Okay, here's the cool part about doing this. These, well, the reaction videos are different. This is what I mostly do here on the channel. But what this is going to be for is my sub-series where I go like in depth about the songs. Typically, I know a lot about the songs because they're my suggestions. They're not reactions. But since I started opening up the doors a little bit more to community feedback and suggestions and votes, I don't know what's going on here. So when I talk about it in that video, I'm going to need your assistance. So please feel free to elaborate as much as you want as to what's happening here. How did you feel when you heard the song? You know, I want the whole thing. So I don't know whether you're maybe one of those people that don't like to comment. I get it, but like if you have experience with this game and this theme, just tell me something, because I need to get like a collection of opinions and stuff, because if I'm going to talk about it in that video, I need to know something, because all I can do is, yeah, I guess I could look up footage or something, but all I have is, all I can really do is listen to it multiple times and maybe get like a new feeling. But man, I was not expecting that at all. Not disappointed either, but man, it was really nice hearing the piano by itself. And if that was him performing it, then that makes it that much cooler, because I'm a big fan of his. Right? And man, this must be one of his most like different soundtracks that he's been a part of. You know, I'm used to that Star Ocean sound and that Prague sound. That was wild. Well, I can see why I got a lot of votes. I have mentioned before that piano is like pretty much like my second favorite instrument. I love hearing it, especially solo. But now at least I know that the music has some variety in FromSoft. I will admit, I don't want to say judged it, but I guess kind of, yeah. I mean, I think most people would agree that who have never played them, they think that the music from these games are all kind of, you know, that orchestral thing, cinematic approach. So that's a nice little new introduction. Let me know whatever you want. But that was Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Damn. Thank you to Novak and Dakota, to all my patrons who voted, for all my patrons here supporting me. Thanks to you for watching. I will see you in VGM Vibes 5, the Fire episode. Peace out.